Tiffany Henyard in court today over illegal appointments she allegedly made for several positions inside the village, among them.
Now she's teasing a big announcement that she claims will result in some of her opponents being arrested and charged.
Tiffany Henyard, once hailed as Thoron Township's political wonderkind, now finds herself embroiled in one of the most explosive scandals Illinois has seen in years. After a stunning defeat in the recent Democratic caucus, Henyard's tenure has been overshadowed by a growing list of controversies and legal troubles that threaten to unravel her political career. Once dubbed the super mayor, her grip on power appears to be slipping. Yet, if there's one thing Tiffany Henyard knows how to do, it's make an impression. And this latest chapter in her saga has been nothing short of a spectacle.
Last month, the judge issued a temporary restraining order blocking her from making those appointments without approval from trustees.
On a cold December evening in Homewood, Illinois, a crowd of hundreds gathers outside the Homewood Flossmoor Park District Auditorium, many bundled tightly against the winter chill. Inside, the air is thick with anticipation as the highly anticipated Democratic caucus is set to begin. This isn't just another political event. It's the first township caucus in Thornton in over 30 years, and for Tiffany Henyard, the stakes couldn't be higher. Tonight marks her last chance to secure a spot on the Democratic ballot for township supervisor. But as the evening unfolds, it becomes increasingly evident that Henyard is facing a tough fight.
I've said for a while, it's like, grassroots. It was organic when a lot of this things started at the township, where the people were, just showing their displeasure.
The auditorium, filled to its 600-person capacity, buzzed with anticipation. Supporters of State Senator Napoleon Harris, who also serves as the Thornton Township Democratic Committeeman, had claimed their spots early. Meanwhile, Henyard's buses, which were meant to transport senior supporters, arrived late, leaving many of her backers stranded outside, unable to get in. That's when the drama erupted. As the caucus began, Henyard stormed into the room, visibly furious. "You didn't run any of this the right way," she shouted at Harris, her voice reverberating through the packed hall. "Illegal, Napoleon." But her outburst was met with cold indifference. Within minutes, exactly 7, to be precise, the caucus was over, and Harris declared himself the Democratic nominee for township supervisor. The room erupted in cheers, with some supporters gleefully chanting, "Na na na na, hey hey hey, goodbye." It was a devastating blow for Henyard, who left in tears, escorted by security while her opponents jeered.
Thornton Township Supervisor Tiffany Henyard, who was appointed to that position tonight, lost her bid for the Democratic Party's nomination in this rarely used.
For Henyard, the defeat was a crushing blow, not only politically but financially. As township supervisor, she earned over $200,000 a year, making it one of the most lucrative positions in local government in the state. With the loss of the Democratic nomination, her path forward is uncertain. Her only remaining option is to run as a write-in candidate, a long shot at best, especially with her diminishing popularity and the growing list of scandals surrounding her. Henyard's downfall has been unfolding like a slow-motion train wreck, fueled by accusations of corruption, extravagant spending, and ineffective leadership. Critics highlight her misuse of taxpayer dollars for personal travel, lavish meals, and even a nearly empty concert that cost over $85,000. Her administration has been marked by chaos, with township meetings often devolving into shouting matches and trustees boycotting sessions altogether. And hanging over it all is an ongoing FBI investigation, a dark cloud that has only intensified the public scrutiny.
A Dalton home that she leased to Mayor Tiffany Henyard has filed eviction papers. She says Henyard has not paid her rent, and now she wants her.
Residents of Thornton Township have grown increasingly vocal in their dissatisfaction, accusing Henyard of prioritizing her own interests over those of the community. Just because she gets the boot doesn't mean Tiffany and her goons shouldn't be indicted and prosecuted for government corruption, one commenter wrote, echoing the sentiment of many. It's a stark turnaround for Henyard, who was once viewed as a rising political star. As one observer put it, Tiffany used to dominate meetings, but now she's the one getting shouted down. Karma and Justice in Action by Tiff Tiff. The frustration has only deepened as Henyard continues to portray herself as the victim of a political conspiracy. At public meetings, she has accused her opponents of undermining democracy and silencing the will of the people. But critics argue that her rhetoric is simply a distraction from her growing list of scandals. Every time she's called out, it's the same excuse. Everyone's out to get her, said one Thornton resident. At some point, she has to take responsibility for her own actions.
I'm a private investigator. I've got some book that says Super Mayor. Inside I have from the United States District Court, Northern District of Illinois.
The growing disillusionment in the community is fueled by the sharp contrast between Henyard's campaign promises and her actual performance in office. When she first assumed the role of township supervisor, she portrayed herself as a reformer committed to cleaning up local government and putting residents' needs first. However, her time in office has been marred by allegations of financial mismanagement, questionable hiring practices, and a lack of transparency. For many, the tipping point came when it was revealed that Henyard's administration spent over $100,000 on travel and luxury meals, while essential township programs for seniors and youth were reportedly underfunded. Even her handling of the caucus has faced heavy criticism. Reports indicated that her team's disorganization played a key role in her defeat. Critics noted that many of the seniors she'd had bused to the event arrived late and struggled to get into the venue due to poor planning. She couldn't even organize her own people, said one observer. How can she lead a township when she can't even manage her supporters at a caucus? This logistical failure further eroded her credibility and gave her opponents more reasons to question her leadership ability.
Tiffany Henyard making a late appearance at the Dolton Village Board meeting this evening. That meeting was being held at the Park District building since Village Hall cannot legally accommodate the crowds at a typical meeting.
Despite everything, Henyard's remaining supporters have been outspoken in defending her leadership. They contend that she has been unfairly targeted by political rivals intent on undermining her. This was a setup from the beginning, said one attendee at the caucus. They never gave her a fair chance. However, even some of her former allies are beginning to question whether she can overcome the mounting scandals and legal issues. Critics argue that Henyard's downfall was almost inevitable, given the sheer number of controversies surrounding her. One of the most damaging allegations involves her misuse of township resources to further her political goals. For instance, during the caucus, she reportedly used township buses to transport supporters, a move her opponents deemed unethical. Then there's the issue of her personal spending. An investigation into Henyard's finances, led by former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot, uncovered tens of thousands of dollars in questionable expenses, including an astounding $43,000 spent on Amazon in a single day.
A Cook County court has reversed some of Dolton Mayor Tiffany Henyard's decisions. At last night's village board meeting, Henyard announced a 30-day temporary appointment.
Henyard, however, maintains that she has done nothing wrong. In an exclusive interview before the caucus, she dismissed the allegations as politically motivated attacks. "Y'all didn't run my name through the mud and do everything, but guess what? I'm going to grow from it," she said defiantly. She also claimed the caucus process was rigged against her, accusing Harris of manipulating the rules to secure his win. "If they could beat me, they would have gone to the polls," she insisted. The show will go on. However, not everyone is buying into Henyard's version of events. Legal experts and political analysts have largely dismissed her claims of unfairness, pointing out that the caucus followed established procedures. The process was followed, and it came out the way it was supposed to, Harris said after the event. Even some of Henyard's own supporters are beginning to lose faith. "She came late and then had an attitude because they couldn't get in," one attendee commented.
2 agendas, 2 meetings in different locations. It was a little confusing for some residents, but the meeting here at Village Hall canceled after a few minutes because they didn't have a quorum.
As Henyard grapples with the fallout from the caucus, her future looks increasingly uncertain. The ongoing FBI investigation, along with multiple lawsuits and scrutiny from the Illinois Attorney General, suggests that legal troubles may be imminent. Some speculate that she could face criminal charges, particularly if investigators uncover evidence of financial misconduct. Others believe bankruptcy could be a possibility, given the numerous lawsuits piling up against her. For Thornton Township, Henyard's departure marks the beginning of a new era, with Harris set to take the reins. Many residents are hopeful that the township can move past the chaos and rebuild trust in local government. However, some remain skeptical, questioning whether Harris or any politician can truly deliver meaningful change. Meanwhile, Henyard remains defiant. In a fiery speech following the caucus, she vowed to challenge the results in court, labeling the process illegal and unfair. Although her support base is shrinking, her remaining followers remain fiercely loyal, with some even pledging to write her name on the ballot in the April election.
But you don't even have a sense to even look in our face. But you rather just steal our money and do what you want to do.
Whether Henyard can mount a successful comeback remains unclear. Her political career has become a cautionary tale of how power, ambition, and scandal can collide, leading to the downfall of what was once a promising leadership. As one commenter put it, "The people have spoken and Tiffany Henyard is out." Let's hope this marks the beginning of real change for Thorndon Township. Henyard's story raises important questions about accountability, leadership, and the role of public trust in local government. Will she manage to clear her name and rebuild her political career, or is this the final chapter of a career marked by controversy and conflict? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe for more updates on this unfolding story.